Hello again, my friend. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever done something and then asked yourself, why did I do that again? Maybe you opened your phone just for 1 minute, but then 30 minutes passed. Maybe you said, I'll study English tonight, but later you felt too tired and you didn't do it. You're not alone. We all do this. And that thing you keep doing even when you don't want to. That's a bad habit. But what is a bad habit really? A bad habit is something you do again and again, even when you know it's not helping you. It could be looking at your phone too much, eating too much junk food, skipping English practice, going to bed too late. You don't plan to do it. You don't want to do it. But still, you do it. Why? Let's break it down. A habit usually has 3 parts. Trigger: something happens that starts the habit. Maybe you feel bored or stressed. Behavior: you do the habit, like scrolling, snacking, or skipping your goal. Reward: you feel better for a short time. Maybe you laugh. Maybe you relax. That's the loop. And every time you do it, your brain says, this feels good. Let's do it again. And the more you repeat it, the stronger the habit becomes. So remember, a bad habit is not a sign of weakness. It's not about being lazy. It's just a loop your brain has learned. And the good news is, you can break the loop. And in this podcast, I'll show you how, step by step. Let's be honest. When we fall into a bad habit, what's the first thing we say? Ugh, I'm so lazy. Why can't I control myself? I'll never change. Sound familiar? Well, I have something important to tell you. You are not lazy. You are not weak. You are not broken. You are human, and your brain is doing what it's designed to do. It looks for comfort. It wants to save energy. It loves what feels easy. Think about this. If you're tired after work and you have 2 choices, study English, watch a funny video. Which one feels easier? Which one gives you a quick reward? That's right, the video. And guess what? Your brain remembers that. It says, that felt good. Let's do it again tomorrow. Over time, it becomes a pattern. You don't even think about it. Your hand just reaches for your phone. It feels automatic, like a reflex. That's not your fault. That's just your brain running on a loop. But here's the thing. The brain doesn't care if the habit is good or bad. It only cares if it feels comfortable and familiar. So if scrolling on your phone feels easy and practicing English feels hard, your brain will always choose the easy one unless you teach it something new. And you can. Because habits are not forever. They are not fixed. You created them, which means you can also change them. So repeat after me. I am not lazy. I'm learning. I'm not failing. I'm understanding my brain. And in the next part, we'll talk about how small choices, just tiny ones, can quietly build into big problems. Let me tell you a little secret. Bad habits don't start with a big decision. They start with something tiny, just a small choice. Maybe you say, I'm too tired to study today. I'll go to the gym. Tomorrow, 1 more video, then I'll stop. Sounds simple, right? But then one small choice becomes many. And suddenly it's been 1 week without practice, 2 weeks without exercise, 3 weeks of just 5 more minutes every night. This is how bad habits grow. Not with fire, not with noise, but with silence. They sneak in, they hide behind excuses. And before we notice, they take over our time, our energy, our goals. Here's a picture I like to use. Imagine you're holding a big bucket. Now imagine there's a tiny hole in the bottom. At first it doesn't matter, just a few drops. But if that hole keeps leaking every day, what happens? The bucket empties. That's what bad habits do. They leak your focus, they drain your time, they steal your progress. But here's the problem. When we realize what's happening, we often get angry at ourselves. We say, I'm so behind, I wasted so much time, I always do this. But anger doesn't help. What helps is awareness. Noticing the small choices, understanding the tiny leaks. Because once you see them, you can stop them. And you can start building something new. So here's your reminder. Big problems often start small, but small actions can fix them too. In part 4, we'll look at something powerful. The patterns your brain loves and how they control you. Let's talk about something really interesting. Your brain is like a computer. It loves patterns. It loves to repeat. Why? Because repeating the same thing every day uses less energy. So when you do something again and again, your brain says, oh, I know this. This is easy. Let's do it again tomorrow. That's why habits feel automatic. You don't have to think. You just do it. Let me give you an example. Imagine you walk the same path to school every day. At first, it's just grass. Then, after many days, A trail appears. It becomes smooth. It becomes easy to walk. That's exactly what happens in your brain. Every time you do something, check your phone. Eat chips, skip English practice. You walk the same path again. The trail gets deeper and easier to follow. Your brain says, "This is familiar. I know this road. Let's keep walking." Even if it's not good for you, even if it's slowing you down. Because for your brain, familiar, you're safe. But here's the good news. If your brain can build a bad trail, it can also build a good one. You are not stuck. Yes, it takes effort. Yes, it takes time. But you can choose a new pattern. You can walk a new path. And the more you walk it, the easier it becomes. So here's a question for you. What path are you walking today? Is it helping you or hurting you? Think about it. And in part 5, we'll talk about how to start building that new path, even if it feels hard at first. You're learning, you're growing, and I'm right here with you. In the last part, we said this. Your brain loves patterns. It repeats what feels easy. It walks the same path again and again. But what if that path is not helping you? What if it's leading you away from your goals? You can choose a new path. You can build a new habit. Yes, it's possible, but I'll be honest with you. At first, it feels hard. Think of this. Imagine you're in a jungle. There's no trail, just trees, grass, and wild plants everywhere. Now you want to make a new path. So what do? You start walking, step by step. The grass pushes back, the trees are in the way, it's uncomfortable, it's slow. But if you walk that path every day, the grass starts to bend, the dirt becomes smooth, the path becomes clearer. And in time, that path becomes your new trail. This is what happens when you build a new habit. At first, your brain says, "This feels strange. I don't like this. Let's go back to the old way." But if you keep going, just a little each day, your brain starts to change. It begins to say, "Oh, this is familiar now. This is getting easier. Let's do it again tomorrow." Here's a small tip. Pick one small habit you want to build. Make it simple. Make it short. Example, say one English sentence out loud every morning. Just one sentence. Same sentence. Every day. It sounds small, but it's powerful. Because you're telling your brain, "This matters. This is who I am now." Small steps build strong trails. Repetition creates confidence. New habits become natural with time. In part 6, we'll talk about the biggest mistake most people make. They try to stop a bad habit, but forget to replace it. Let's fix that next. You're doing amazing. Keep going. Okay, now here's where most people go wrong. When they want to change, they try to do one thing. Just stop the bad habit. They say, "I'll stop scrolling so much. I'll stop eating junk food. I'll stop skipping practice." Sounds simple, right? But here's the truth. Just stopping almost never works because your brain doesn't like an empty space. Let's say you stop using your phone at night. Great, but now your brain asks, "Okay, but what do we do instead?" And if you don't give it something new, your brain will go back to what it knows, the old habit. That's why people often quit and then go back again. Not because they're weak, not because they failed, but because they didn't replace the habit. They only tried to remove it. So here's the better way. Don't just remove the habit. Replace it. Swap it with something small and helpful. Let me give you an example. Instead of saying, "I won't use Instagram after dinner," try this. "After dinner, I'll listen to 3 minutes of a podcast." Do you see the difference? Now your brain has something to hold on to. It has a new path to walk. Another idea for English learners. Next time your hand grabs your phone, say, "Phone in hand, I'll record a 10-second voice note in English." No need to send it, just speak. It's short, it's simple, but it breaks the loop. And the more you do it, the stronger the new loop becomes. So remember this rule, don't just stop, swap. And in part 7, we'll talk about something very powerful, timing. There's a tiny window that can change everything. Let's talk about it. You're halfway there? Let me ask you something. Have you ever felt the urge to do something you don't want to do? Maybe late at night you feel that pull to scroll through your phone. Or after a long day, you just want to eat something sweet even when you're not hungry. That moment, that tiny moment before the habit starts, is very, very important. We call it the golden 5 minutes. It's the little window right before a habit begins. If you catch that moment, you can make a different choice. If you miss it, the old habit takes over. Let me give you a picture. Imagine there's a storm outside. The wind is blowing hard. The rain is heavy. Now you can't stop the storm, but you can shut the window before the wind comes in. That's the same with habits. You can't always stop the urge, but if you pause just for a few seconds, you can choose a different action. Here's a tip you can try. Next time you feel that urge, say, just 5 minutes. Not I have to study for 1 hour. Not I must be perfect. Just I'll try for 5 minutes. Then play an episode of this podcast. Say one line out loud. Write one short sentence. That's it. Because once you start, something amazing happens. Momentum begins, and often you'll go longer than 5 minutes. Not because you forced it, but because you just began. Small starts lead to strong streaks. 1 minute can shift your whole mindset. So don't wait for the perfect time. Catch the habit before it catches you. And in part 8, we'll talk about how to measure progress not with perfection, but with something much better. Let's keep going. You're doing amazing. Now let's talk about something that stops many people. It's not failure. It's not laziness. It's not time. It's the feeling that I'm not doing enough. I missed one day. I broke my streak. And suddenly you quit. You give up on your new habit. You say, what's the point? I'll never be consistent. But that thinking is wrong. Let me explain why. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to show up again. Think of building a wall. You don't build it all in one day. You place one brick, then another, then another. Each brick feels small, but together they become something big. So here's a better mindset. Don't focus on what you missed. Focus on what you did. Did you practice for 3 days and miss one? That's okay. Celebrate the 3 days. Did you stop halfway through your study? That's okay. You still started. Every small win matters. Here's a phrase I use. I did it today. That's enough. You can write it on a sticky note. Put it on your desk. Make it your phone wallpaper. It's simple, but it changes the way you think about progress. Because real change is not about one perfect week. It's about choosing again and again and again. One brick at a time, one word at a time, one habit at a time. So be kind to yourself. Be proud of small steps. Because those small steps, they compound, they grow, and they last. In part 9, we'll talk about how to let go of guilt and turn it into something powerful. You're almost there. Let's keep going. Now let's talk about a heavy feeling. Something that often comes with bad habits. That feeling is guilt. You know what I mean, right? After you scroll for too long. After you skip your English study. After you eat something you didn't need. You say things like, I failed again. What's wrong with me? I'm just not good at this. That voice is loud. It feels heavy. It slows you down. But guilt doesn't help you grow. It only makes you feel small. So here's a shift that can change everything. Guilt judges. Awareness notices. Let me say that again. Guilt says, you're bad, you failed. Awareness says, that habit came back. Why? What triggered it? What can I try next time? See the difference. One voice is full of shame, the other is full of curiosity. So next time you slip, don't say, I'm bad at this. Say, I'm noticing a pattern, and that means I'm learning. This mindset is kind, it's strong, and it helps you move forward. Because let's be honest, nobody is perfect. Mistakes are part of learning, even the best English speakers. Even the most motivated people. They fall sometimes, but what makes them strong? They don't stay down, they reflect, they adjust, and they try again. You can do the same. So here's your reminder. If you feel guilt, pause, breathe, and turn it into awareness. That's how growth begins. And in part 10, we'll finish with the most powerful idea of all, identity. Because the way you see yourself changes everything. Let's go there together. You're almost at the finish line. All right, my friend, you've learned a lot so far. We've talked about bad habits, tiny choices, new paths, guilt, and progress. Now let's finish with the most powerful piece of all, identity. Let me explain. Habits don't just come from motivation. They come from your beliefs, what you believe about yourself. Let's compare two people. One says, I want to learn English. The other says, I am the kind of person who learns English. Who do you think will stay consistent? The second one. Why? Because they're not just chasing a goal. They're living a new identity. Here's another example. Person 1. I'm trying to stop procrastinating. Person 2. I'm becoming someone who shows up. See the difference. One is focused on the problem. The other is focused on the person they want to become. And that small shift, it makes a big difference. So ask yourself, what kind of person do you want to be? Say it out loud. I'm someone who practices even when it's hard. I'm someone who takes small steps every day. I'm someone who speaks English with confidence. These words are not just sentences, they are seeds. And when you plant them in your mind and water them with action, they grow into habits, they grow into your life. So remember, you don't need to be perfect. You don't need to rush. You don't need to fix everything overnight. You just need to believe in a new version of you, A version that shows up, learns, tries again, and keeps going. That version is already inside you, and you've been walking toward it one word at a time. That's the end of our journey today, but your habits, your growth, your English, they're just getting started. Take one small action today, just one. And remember, I did it today, that's enough. I'm proud of you. I'll see you in the next episode. Until then, keep speaking English and keep becoming who you really are. You've got this.